I've upgraded Polonia again since our last encounter, and uploaded every last scrap of your data. So let's finish this, once and for...
She's not here. Where did she go?
Hey! Over here, you big...
Cursed moon. Go. Keep searching. She cannot have gotten far.
So this is your method for investigating Rarir's past. It almost looks like some kind of ceremony.
Good deduction. But it's quite a different affair from what you're used to with the Frostmoon Scions.
Whoa! First time I've ever been in here. Boss always said it was off limits, so I pictured some kind of creepy dungeon. But it's actually kinda nice. Oh, I guess this must be Sumero decor? That's where Boss is from. And that nice shopkeeper who sold me my treasure compass.
I'm not sure exactly what you've got planned, but it looks like you're all set. When do we begin?
Whenever we wish. But for some reason, I've got a feeling this isn't going to end well. I've never faced Rarir myself, but from what you've told me, his power is beyond anything I could imagine. I, on the other hand, am just an ordinary businesswoman. Our paths should never have crossed, yet here I am, forced to make an enemy of him.
If you ask me, you're about as far from ordinary as it gets. So what are you saying? You're getting cold feet?
Once I take a job, there's no backing out. Still, I have to ask myself if the power I'm relying on will even work on an opponent of this caliber. And also how to make sure I come out of this alive if things spiral out of control. Death is the one thing we can take for granted. It is the great equalizer, however fortunate or unfortunate we may otherwise be. So it's important to consider how to spend what lifespan we have left.
Come on, boss. Lighten up. Quit talking about death. It's bad luck.
For once, I agree with you. When you're up against a foe like Rarir, there's no such thing as being too prepared. Is there anything I can do to help?
That won't be necessary. I've already made up my mind. Time to cash in a precious favor I've been saving for a rainy day. Yehoda, I need you to find someone for me. The sooner the better.
Eh? Find who?
That shady merchant who sold you an overpriced treasure compass the other day.
Come on, boss. You're pulling my leg again. In what way is she shady? She showed up when I was completely lost and sold me a neat little gadget that was exactly what I needed. Trust me, she's a good person. Anyway, I know who you're talking about. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. What's happening to me? I genuinely can't run any further.
Hey, aren't you?
What is it? What's the big rush? You dragged me out of a dream where I was literally swimming in Mora. I'm charging double my usual attendance fee. See, look how easygoing she is. After that rude awakening, she could have completely snapped at us. But instead, she kept it together and just asked for an extra...
Dori Sangama Bay? I never would have pictured you two doing business together.
If you want to make it big and not cry, it's all about connections. Lady Nefer just so happens to have a lot of intel that interests me. And she also did me a big favor in the past. It was back when I first arrived in Not Cry. My trusty assistant, the genie in my lamp, had an adverse reaction to the Kuvaki and fainted. And wouldn't you know it, That's when I suddenly find myself in a life-or-death situation. Good thing my compatriot was there to swoop in and save the day. I've been giving her a 30% discount off all of my goods ever since. Now, so that no one here feels left out, I'm willing to extend a 20% discount to fellow friends of Boss Nefer. Plus, any other friends you send my way will enjoy 10% off. What can I say? The great Lord Sangamabe is nothing if not generous. So, let me guess. You've run into some trouble? I've got everything you could possibly need, and the more you buy, the more you'll save.
You guessed correctly. What have you got in the way of survival gear?
The one type of gear I've never been short on. What are you looking for? A jetpack fresh from the Academia's labs? An ancient suit of armor, dredged up from the bottom of the sea? At the very least, I need to know what kind of opponent you're dealing with here. If even you're worried about staying alive, it must be pretty serious.
What if I told you it's someone with the power to bring a nation to its knees?
Is that so? Then we really are talking top-shelf treasures. I don't have anything like that in stock right now. I'll have to ask my supplier.
Your supplier?
A powerful woman, make no mistake. I can't reveal her identity, but luckily for you, I hear she's planning to visit Notcry in the near future. If you're willing to wait, I can ask her when she's here. Can't say exactly how long that'll be, though.
Then, let me put it another way. What would you do if you encountered an enemy like that? Roll over and serve yourself up on a silver platter?
Of course not. I have a handy little trinket from one of my generous suppliers, which... Hold on. What exactly are you getting at? No, this is for my personal use only!
Let's just say I'm borrowing it, all right? Just for insurance purposes. You'll get it back later. Favors are the worst kind of debt to owe, and now you've got a chance to repay one. A win-win situation, don't you think?
Fine. You can borrow it for 5 days. No, make that 3. And for every extra hour after that, I'm charging you 1,000,000 mora. Deal?
Deal.
What a way to start the day. Now, was there anything else you wanted? Or can I go back to bed now?
That will be all. Take care now. Don't trip up on your way back, friend.
See you later! You're my favorite shopkeeper.
Excellent. Everything is well and truly ready. The ceremony can now begin. After initiating the ceremony, your minds will follow me wherever I go. You will see many strange things in your mind's eye, so remember, don't be frightened, and don't make a sound. Now then, let us peer into the Raker of Solnari's past. I made it. I don't recognize this style of architecture. Must be Conrian. Simple furnishings, table and chairs. It's a more ordinary house than I might have expected. Looks like the fearsome Raker of Solnari came from surprisingly humble beginnings. Unless this passed for luxury in Conria. Unlikely. It was said to be a very prosperous nation in its heyday. Anyway, I'll keep exploring.
Hi, River. Since you're working extra hours tonight, I thought I'd keep myself busy by checking out that new kebab shop. I've heard good things about their menu. I'll test it out, and if it's as good as everyone's saying, let's go back together sometime. P.S. New stash from the Universitas Magistrorum. I brought some goodies home. A few teacups and a pin rack. Hope you like them.
They didn't sign their name, but they must have been close. Sounds like they were living together.
I went over to Joseph's for drinks today. They have a fine collection, but I went alone. Felindis was tied up with something and couldn't make it. Joseph asked why I came alone, but I didn't really have an answer. He then went on to ask about other things. If you ask me, someone who asks that many personal questions is too nosy for their own good. But if he invites me again, chances are I'd still go.
The Lindis. That's the same name Rerir mentioned.
Crane imports keep falling. If things don't pick up, we'll soon be back to meat and mushrooms only. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of that new type of mushroom everyone's been into lately. Didn't it start out as a lab-grown variety? I heard it's even mildly corrosive. Seriously, why would you even eat something like that? I don't care if it's an impressive feat of alchemy. That just isn't the kind of thing I like to eat.
Grain has to be imported, and they're eating a diet of mostly meat and mushrooms. Could it be because Conria is underground, so it doesn't get much sunlight? That would explain why they use so much stone in their buildings. They even use alchemically modified strains for food. Seems like the people of Conria don't have many options when it comes to dining.
I've just about saved up enough now. Time to buy it and keep it somewhere safe.
Making a big purchase. I wonder what it is. He really is a professional. No wonder he's so good at covering his tracks. Despite what he's become, it seems like he's retained certain habits, at least in this regard. Did Rerir rip it out himself?
Before I met you, I was convinced that my heart was nothing more than a stagnant pool, the burial place of a fallen moon. A withered, windless grove where the waters rested forever unrippled. It was you who helped me see that my heart hadn't entirely withered away, that it could still beat to the rhythm of love.
This is just trivial sentimentality from the looks of it. Why would he go to the trouble of hiding that? The burial place of a fallen moon.
Rerir, over here.
Dane! Oh, and, Vedelson here? What a surprise to see you here, sir.
Hello there, Rerir. You need not address me so formally outside of court.
He doesn't get that much free time, so I invited him over for a drink. Even the court prophet deserves a break every now and then, right?
Well, I'm flattered.
So, what are we discussing today?
Hey, don't look at me. As far as I see it, we don't need an excuse to have a few drinks.
Come on, don't give us that. Didn't you say you were about to pop the big question? How's that coming along?
Who'd have thought the great Twilight Sword was an even greater gossip?
I just didn't expect you to be the first one to settle down and get married, that's all.
Yeah. If you told me that a few years ago, I wouldn't have believed you either.
So, are you planning to come clean about your job then? I'm guessing you still haven't told her.
Sure, I'll have to tell her at some point. But I'll need to pick the right time and place. To be honest, I have no idea how she'll take it.
Come on, stop being such a pessimist. For all you know, she could be thrilled. I bet she'll be much more impressed by your actual job than the one she thinks you're doing now. A member of the King's Guard. Quite the cover story. Does the king himself even know?
Of course he does. Anyway, enough about me. How have you been?
Me? Same old, nothing much to... Huh? What's up, Ved?
It's nothing.
Vedifulnir, Dainsleif's elder brother. Renowned throughout the court of Conria as the Visionary, and said to possess a wisdom far beyond the reach of any ordinary man. And yet, despite the gulf between us, he seems to have something to say about me. Does he even know me? Does he see me as a friend of his brother, or just another of the Vinster King's blades? Why did he react so strongly? Was it really to do with what we were talking about?
Brown, curly hair and brooding blue eyes. So this is what Rere looked like back in the day. Perfectly normal. No different from anyone else. As frightening as this monster is in the present, there's something even more unsettling about seeing the human he used to be.
Felindis? You're back early?
Our equipment's being serviced today, so I got off earlier than usual. How's your day been? Aw, why the long face? Is something the matter? Has your boss been giving you a hard time again?
Went for a drink with Dane and the others after work.
Isn't that a good thing?
Vedifulnir showed up today, too. You know, Dainsleif's older brother.
Ah, Mr. Vedifulnir. Yes, I've heard of him. They say that everything he says ends up coming true.
He overheard Dainsleif mention that I'd recently proposed, and seemed to have an issue with it. But when I asked what it was, he kept it to himself.
So, you're worried? You can be such a child sometimes, Revier. We're nobodies. Why would the Visionary be concerned about us? I'm sure someone in his position has much bigger fish to fry.
Maybe you're right.
You worry too much, Revier. We've been together for ages now, and everything's been going so well, has it not? You've even proposed to me.
So, you do remember. Tell me then. What's your answer?
Like I said, I need some time to decide. You can't just rush into things like this. We may be nobodies in the grand scheme of things, but if we want things to work out, we've still got to plan ahead.
All right. Take your time. Just don't keep me waiting forever. Nobodies. Sounds about right. In the eyes of people like Vedifulnir and Dainsleif, what do we matter? Can someone whose gaze is so fixed on a far-flung future even see the present clearly? Besides, the dynasty's fate rests with the king and his inner circle. Whatever I do, it won't make much difference. Meanwhile, every idea they come up with and every decision they make, it affects everything. These days, the king is lost in his research, and the purge of the Crimson Moon bloodline grows ever more intense. The opposition tried to speak out, but nothing came of it. And I'm under no illusions as to why. Because we eliminated them and got rid of their bodies. A man can have 1,000 reasons to carry a sword, but there are few good excuses to use it. Yet the king has never even considered a gentler approach, and he never will. What becomes of someone who kills on another's behalf? Can he ever find true peace? Thelindis? It's nothing. You were right. Fate has never smiled upon nobodies like us. But by the same token, it's unlikely to bear a grudge against us either. There's no reason we can't keep living happily together, cherishing the simple joys of each day as they come.
See? You just need to stay positive, Revere. I can feel your warmth, your breath. You're right there, right by my side. Just seeing you makes me happy in a way I can't explain. And that's something that no one could ever take away from me. So smile, my love. Let go of that frown.
You're right, Thelindis. I've just been overthinking things.
That's better. Getting caught up about things like this will only ruin our evening. Speaking of which, all set for the ball tonight? I need to go get ready.
You go ahead. I just have a few things to take care of, then I'll come join you.
Even busier than the big shots, huh? Fine, I'll go get started. But don't be late. If you keep me waiting too long, I won't be a happy bunny.
Relax. I'll be there. Seriously, though, you drive a hard bargain. You're really gonna leave my proposal hanging and still expect me to take you to the ball?
Well, that goes without saying. I already told everyone I'd be coming with a dance partner. Besides, they're two completely different things. Let's take it one thing at a time, all right?
All right. White outfit it is.
It seems like Rere was deliberately hiding his ties to the intelligence services by giving the impression that he was just an ordinary member of the Finster King's Guard. He clearly doesn't want his would-be fiancé to know about his other life. Then again, that's hardly surprising. People in the intelligence trade rarely do. Who'd have thought we were in the same line of work? Let's dig a little deeper.
Our last operation was a resounding success, and all thanks to you, Rehir of Solnari. In total, we apprehended 32 dregs of the Crimson Moon, and 67 accomplices.
After all these years since the dynasty's fall, so many of them still linger on.
Indeed, it cannot be denied. Yet it was destiny that the Crimson Moon should be overcome by the eclipse, and that His Majesty, the all-seeing Finster King, now guides our nation on the path to prosperity. Conria has no further need for a dead moon. But alas, there will always be those who refuse to see the truth, choosing instead to romanticize the past.
That's not entirely true. Much about the Crimson Moon era was worthy of remembrance. And that's exactly why they keep trying to see it restored. Many of its secrets remain unsolved to this day. As it happens, that's precisely the field of study my partner is devoted to.
You still haven't told her what you really do for a living.
Where would I even start? How do you tell someone that you're one of the king's hand-picked executioners? That your hands are steeped in blood?
You didn't choose this life, any more than I did. Orphans like us don't get a say.
But I'll sure as heck be the one to pay for it. Speaking of which, we need to be more rigorous in the way we identify direct descendants of the Crimson Moon. Someone, it seems, has strong opinions about my future plans. Most likely my marriage in particular. I have a feeling that we may soon become targets of the Crimson Moon's retribution.
Your concerns are not unfounded. They've taken out many of our colleagues these past few years, and for that very reason. These are no helpless lambs we're leading to the slaughter. They're wolves in sheep's clothing. Take care, Rehir of Solnari. I look forward to toasting you at your wedding.
Thanks, Thorkel. You look after yourself, too. Thelindis, I never wanted to keep this from you. You're the last person I would ever want to lie to. But that's exactly why I can't tell you everything. There are things you shouldn't know. Things you cannot know. The moonlit dynasties are a thing of the past. Yet even now, with the sun shining high in the sky, there are those who would call forth a dead moon's ghost. Could that be why Vedalfnir held back? Or was it because of some court secret he's not at liberty to share? I have to get a clear answer from him. No matter what happens, I will protect Thalindus.
Rerir seems to be very concerned by Vedderfenir's reaction. Vedderfenir and Dainsleif, the Visionary and Twilight Sword. So that's what they were really like. I've investigated this whole area now. There doesn't seem to be any other memories here. Should I try somewhere else? Wait a second. What's this black smoke?
So, he's late after all. Just you wait, Rerir. You're in for it. Big time.
Are you waiting for someone, ma'am? Could I tempt you into buying some flowers?
Oh, sure. Pick me out a pretty bunch if you would.
Thank you. But I'm afraid none of them are as pretty as you.
For someone so young, you sure have a way with words, don't you?
I'm only telling the truth. Look me in the eyes. You'll see I'm not lying. May we have a word in private?
Who are you? And what do you want?
It doesn't matter who I am. Too many of our kind have fallen lately, so I decided to take the risk of reaching out. Not long ago, the Ray here of Solnari led an assault on one of our strongholds. We suffered many casualties, and many who came to our aid lost their lives as well.
Sorry, I don't know why you're telling me this. And I don't want to get involved.
Wait, hear me out. This time we finally got a clear look at his face and learned his true identity. His name is Rerir, and he claims to be one of the King's guards.
What did you say?
A cruel irony, isn't it? The man you're set to marry leads a double life as a brutal executioner. But surely, you must have caught a whiff of the blood on his hands.
Why are you telling me all of this now?
Simple. It's because...
How strange. Rerir was nowhere to be seen in that memory. It clearly belonged to Thalindus. Rerir couldn't possibly know what happened if he wasn't even there. Why would her memories appear in his fragment? The ceremony won't last much longer. I think it's time to call it a day.
So that was your doing? Did you just pull us inside Rerir's fragment to spy directly on his memory?
Any more questions, and I'll have to start charging.
I had no idea you could do that, boss! Seriously, that was amazing! I gotta admit, though, I'm itching to see what happens next. Feels like we barely scratched the surface.
I'm just as curious as you are. But the ceremony only allows for limited time inside. That's all we can see for now. Luckily, we managed to learn quite a lot.
So far, so good. I just hope the others are doing okay too, especially the group with the Traveler. Their mission is a risky one. Let's hope it's all going smoothly.
If you're worried about them, go see how they're doing.
If I know boss, she's gonna need some time to write up all the details and make sure it's all coherent. I'll stay behind to lend a hand, but feel free to head back and meet up with the others. Oh, they've been prowling around for nearly 2 days now. These things just won't quit. Oh, they might not have seen us yet, but them constantly sweeping the area, our way out is completely blocked. Oh, that's never gonna work. One little slip up and it's game over. If they spot us, they'll run straight back to Rerir. And once he knows we're here, it won't be long before he's breathing down our necks again. Oh, guess you're right. All right, time to zip it. Quick, hide! We almost got spotted! Phew! That was a close call. Watch out! He's coming this way! Keep going. We're nearly there. This is the final hurdle.
Sandrone was right. You look weak, Columbina. The old you would never have let such lowly creatures bar your way. Word has it that you did something for the Tsaritsa, and that's why you've lost most of your power. Freedom comes at a heavy price, doesn't it?
It's Arlecchino! You came!
Hello again, Columbina. And greetings, guests of the House of the Hearth.
It's been a while, Arlecchino.
Stupid right here of stupid Solnari. Ugh, whatever. I've got all the data I need. Next time we meet, you're finished. He sure doesn't pull his punches.
Excuse me, do you need a hand?
You can do me a favor by staying out of my way. Can't you see I'm busy? Wait a minute. I recognize that voice.
Hello, Miss Sandrone. Father sent us over to help.
How considerate of her. Hey, Fremine, get over here and help me fix this. Lenny, you do your thing. Just keep your sister away from my machines. Nearly every machine that cat girl touches ends up going haywire. Go put her on cleaning duty or something.
Then let's start downstairs. Fremine, we'll leave this place to you.
You've got it.
Wait a second. Pretty sure there's still some tea in the cupboard. If you want some, you'll have to make it yourselves.
It's a relief to see you all made it back in one piece.
Huh? Feels like there's quite a few people missing. Where's Flint's and the others? And what about Nefer?
I returned ahead of them. Flint is helping Ino and Anefa to set up the decoys and buy some time. As for Miss Nefer...
Boss is still wrapping things up on her end. She sent us back to fill you all in on the top secret intel we've been gathering.
I see. Then let's get right into it. But first, who do we have here? You brought someone else in to help?
Greetings. I was invited here to help as a longtime Tea Party companion of Columbina's. You may call me Arlecchino.
Surely it can't be.
Those eyes. Oh, where have I seen them before? Wait, of course. In those memories we just saw.
The only Arlecchino I know is the fourth of the Fatui Harbingers. So either you share a pretty uncommon name, or you're more than just a Tea Party buddy.
You're well informed, Grandmaster. A man from Mondstadt living all the way out here in Nodcry, and yet the people and affairs of Snezhnaya seem to hold a special place in your heart.
Oh, the feeling's mutual. Sounds like you know all about who I am, too.
A Fatui Harbinger.
The atmosphere in here just got really tense. Guess we can't just start trusting Fatui Harbingers, even at a time like this.
I must admit, though, I'm a little curious. Seeing as the moon goddess no longer belongs to the Fatui, what makes you so willing to put your neck on the line here?
Nor does Nodcry belong to Mondstadt, Mr. Varka. Yet still, you're fighting for it all the same. Things don't always have to have a tangible payoff.
Sometimes, stopping things from spiraling out of control is a higher priority than chasing the spoils of victory. Of course, I can't say there's nothing in it for me at all. But that's between Columbina and myself.
Forgive me. I don't mean to doubt you. It's just that the Fatui really have been the source of many of our trouble. We have our own way of doing things here in Notcry. But ever since they arrived, the Fatui have treated us with nothing but hostility.
I know there's been a lot of bad blood between us in the past. I've done my utmost to avoid friction whenever I could. But sometimes fundamental conflicts of interest simply can't be settled amicably. That's why I'm here solely in a personal capacity. This has nothing to do with the Fatui. As a gesture of good faith, I'll be frank. I can help Columbina track down the iridescent moon's marrow, which will help her restore more of her power. Anyway, what else is on the agenda? Let's begin.
She says she'll be frank, then completely skips over the details. Looks like she doesn't want to give away too many secrets after all, but she clearly wants to change the subject. It'd be awkward if I tried to bring it up again now. I guess we'll just have to go along with it. She's the fourth of the Fatui Harbingers after all. One look and you can tell she's not someone you'd want to mess with.
Well, since Miss Arlecchino sounds confident in her ability to handle that, we'll proceed to the next topic. Yehoda, time to share that top-secret intel.
Alright, listen up everyone. First, we now know that Rerir was originally a Conrian secret agent whose primary mission was to hunt down and assassinate the so-called Dregs of the Crimson Moon.
The Dregs of the Crimson Moon?
In the memories, there was a lot of talk about the Crimson Moon and Eclipse, and a whole bunch of other stuff from the time of Conria.
To my knowledge, those were the names of two different Conrian dynasties. Long, long ago, it is said that the people of Conria worshipped the Crimson Moon, drawing a mysterious power from its reflection. But one day, a coup saw the Crimson Moon eclipsed, hence the name of the new dynasty that replaced it, and how it became the new emblem of Conria.
Still, long after the Crimson Moon dynasty had fallen, the last ruler of the Eclipse dynasty, the Vinster King, still coveted the secrets it left behind. So, he sent the Rehir of Solnari to secretly hunt down the Crimson Moon's few remaining followers. In those days, Rerir showed no signs of madness. In fact, he was as normal as any other person. Oh, and he had a fiancé, or at least a would-be fiancé, called Tholindis. What's the matter?
Verfnir, Rheindotter, Tholindis.
Interesting. Anything else? What about this would-be fiancé of his? Do we know anything about her?
Well, she was a researcher at the Universitas Magistrorum, but it felt like she was hiding some kind of secret.
Oh, and one more thing. For some reason, Rerir's fragment also contains some of Tholindis' memories, though only a very small portion.
Well, no shortage of potential leads, I'll give you that. In any case, it sounds like we can conclude that while Tholindis was still around, Rerir appeared to be lucid and quite normal. Tholindis, it seems, must have been the one thing in this world that he couldn't let go of. Tell me, though, were these pure-blood Conrians we're talking about here?
Why do you need to know that? Hold on. If she was a pure-blood Conrian... Oh yeah, just like how it was with the captain.
If we could somehow find her, do you think there's any chance Rerir might regain some of his sanity?
It's possible, but it would take a miracle. We can't pin all our hopes on that. That merchant who Nefer knows, Dori Sangama Bay. Maybe we could hire her to look into.
All right then. Let's keep working in our separate teams. Traveler, Paimon, Kutar, and Miss Arlecchino will go look for the iridescent moon's marrow. As for the others...
On the way over here, I noticed that the Wild Hunt monsters had grown even more frenzied in their search for Kutar. At this rate, the people living here will be in grave danger too. So I'm thinking of gathering together some of our followers to go wipe them out.
I'll head back to the curatorium and meet up with the boss.
Feels good knowing we've all got something to be getting on with. Given that the Wild Hunt has been a lot more active lately, the Lightkeepers have likely begun their own operations too. If that is the case, someone will need to pass the news on to Flint's. I'll hold the fort for now, then discuss our next move with Flint's, Aino, and Anefa when they get back.
All right then.
Well, the clock's ticking. If that's everything, we'll be on our way.
We'd better get moving too. We'll try to buy you as much time as we can.
Relax. Just do your thing. I decided to call in some backup since things are getting so hairy. Our reinforcements should be here any minute now. Stay safe, everyone. Dismiss.
We're back. Did we get here a little early? Or a little late?
A tad late. The others have already set off. To summarize, our resident moon goddess has found us a new ally, and Boss Nefer has uncovered some promising info. Everything going smoothly on your end?
Not great. I don't know how long we can stall them for. The decoys are getting taken out way faster than we imagined. I'm gonna make some more later, but I need a timeout first. I'm so tired right now. Oh, right! Inefa, could you fill in Uncle Varka on what we just discussed with Flint's?
Sure. Uncle Varka, you previously told us about how when you went to investigate a source of the Wild Hunt in Amsvartnir, you discovered that it was just a diversion. But according to Flint's intel, several outbreaks of the Wild Hunt had already occurred in Nodcry in the period leading up to that. That was before Rerir had regained his body, when he was far from regaining his full strength. In other words, in theory at least, he still lacked the means to act in two places at once.
Flint's, with everything that's been happening, the Lightkeepers across Nodcry are rallying to fight back against the Wild Hunt. They're gonna need your help. I know, I'm sure you're capable of coming up with something far more effective than decoys. But for now, you should stay here and get some rest. Anefa and I will head back over to Amsvartnir to see if there's anything I missed.
I told you Uncle Varka would say that, didn't I? A deal's a deal. Not a word about my snack intake for the next week.
Database updated. Reliability of Aino's predictions increased.
What does that mean?
They were betting on how you'd respond after hearing their intel.
It's the obvious choice, isn't it? That's hardly worth betting on.
We already decided that Anefa should go investigate the situation over at Amsvartnir on her own. You might as well stay here and keep watch. Someone needs to hang back and oversee our strategy meetings. And besides, you still haven't fully recovered from ambushing Rerir.
So I've ended up with the easiest assignment. Well, I appreciate it, everyone. See you when you get back.